What I want to talk about today is something which I refer to as too much information when playing on PC. So generally what happens is a lot of people see that on PC you can, monitor your temperatures, monitor your FPS and stuff like that, which in return actually calls you being paranoid. Also, sorry if I sound a little bit weird right now. I am currently sick. That's why I haven't recorded a video in about 4 days or so, or uploaded a video, is because I'm really sick, and today's the only day that I've actually felt good to where I'm able to talk more than like 3 to 4 words without having to stop, because I'm literally that congested that I almost can't breathe. But let's jump right into it. So the first general thing that everybody wants to do when they move over to PC gaming is get up these resource monitors. Now, if you don't know what that is, it means like look at your FPS, look at your CPU temperature, look at how much of your GPU percentage is being used up and stuff. The general thing is though, you necessarily don't need these unless you're doing benchmarking. That's the only time you should ever use these. And the reason being is because there's no reason for it. There's absolutely no reason. Adding a good example to this would be like when I first looked at my CPU temperature. When I first saw my CPU temperature under full gaming load, Mad Max at ultra settings on 1080p at 144 hertz, okay, it was hitting 60 Celsius. I was like, oh my god, and for people who don't know what that is, you could Google what that is in Fahrenheit, okay? I was like, oh my god, my CPU is getting way too hot. But it actually turns out with a quick Google search, whatever CPU you have, you can look what the maximum temperature threshold is for your CPU. For an example, okay, my processor is an i5-4590. It turns out that the maximum temperature that my CPU should hit with a stock cooler, that is 70 Celsius. So I'm perfectly fine as long as I don't go, actually technically it's 75, as long as I don't go above 75 Celsius, I'm perfectly fine. There's no issues, it won't overheat or anything like that, right? Okay? Another thing is people worry about how hot their GPU is getting. There's no reason to worry about this because generally GPUs are meant to take up a massive amount of heat. For an example, I had a friend who would always use constant, they'd always monitor when they're playing games and stuff like that. They got really paranoid because their GPU was actually running at 70 Celsius, between 70 and 75 Celsius. And what they didn't realize was once we did a search and actually looked up on the official maker website for their graphics card, that it was able to handle, and it was certified to handle up to 80 Celsius. So they were perfectly fine. They didn't have to worry about anything. It was putting out exactly what it was supposed to put out, actually even under. Like my 1060 that I just recently got, its temperature that it should be hitting, or its temperature that it should be around, is 80. I generally try to keep it around 75 or so, but it's supposed to be hitting 80. If it goes over 80, then there's an issue. If it goes 80, 85, then there's a little bit of an issue and we need to do a little bit of things. But people just use these resource monitors when you don't necessarily need to. I've also realized and come to the conclusion that some of my friends, when they have an FPS monitor open, it judges their opinion on the way they see the game, as opposed to me personally. I usually only have an FPS monitor open if I realize there is something wrong, such as my game is doing something weird, like lagging or stuttering for no reason at all. I want to check and make sure that it is hardware related. But other than that, there's no reason to have these open while you game. Absolutely none at all. Because all it does is cause you being paranoid for no reason at all. You start to get paranoid. Oh my god, my CPU's overheating, my case is too hot. Also, by the way, just to let you guys know, the temperature of your overall case depends on the temperature in your room. So if you're if it's 40 degrees in your room, your case is probably going to be pretty cool. If it's 80, 90 degrees like in the summer, it might be pretty hot, alright, okay? But overall, there's no point having all this stuff open to make yourself paranoid. There's literally no point. You're just going to be sitting here stressing about that rather than enjoying the gameplay like you're supposed to be. I cannot tell you how many countless amount of times when I first built my own computer, I'd have these resource monitors open, such as FP, MSI Afterburner, stuff like that, okay? And I was sitting here, oh my god, maximum FPS. But now that I've actually built my PC and it's been a while, I've come to the realization that, hey, you know what I could do? I could just turn off the FPS monitor, and if it looks good to me, it plays. good as that, alright? If it starts to get laggy, where I actually notice the lag, then we gotta bring up, it and, find out why that is actually happening. Is this hitting too much of this? Is this hitting too much of that? But until then, if I actually turn off the FPS overlays and everything, it looks perfectly fine. It looks perfectly playable. And that's why a lot of PC players, when you ask them what FPS are you getting, they'll generally tell you, I don't know sometimes, because they don't look at that because it impacts their overall, thing with looking at the game. Alright, okay, and playing the game. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, sorry I didn't record a video for the past 4 to 5 days. I've actually been sick today, and this morning is the only time I actually felt good to be able to do a video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you personally use resource monitors? And if you don't know what that is, it's basically stuff like MSI Afterburner and NZXT Cam. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later.